All right, so I don't want to shit on this too bad, but this was sent out by the USBG in their national newsletter, and I cannot let this slide without commenting on this. So the article, it says how to become a bartender who earns six figures per year. First of all, maybe set your sights a little higher than that. So, anyways, let's setting that aside. Okay, so six figures a year is like it's like a lot of money in most places, right? It's a good decent living. And I read through this, and first of all, looks like it was written by an AI, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing is Barry Brown. Who is this Barry Brown? Has Barry Brown ever been a bartender? Does Barry Brown make six figures as a bartender? So let's find out. Freelance copywriter that 10 years experience helping brands and people reach their goals. His spare time is enjoying fitness and traveling when he isn't writing. Okay, so I don't know if Barry Brown has ever been a bartender. So let's just set that aside. Okay, so let's say that Barry Brown is a bartender who has earned $100,000 and is qualified to write this article. All right, Barry, let's see what you got. Okay, so Barry says acquire the necessary skills and certifications. That means get certified, go to bartending school. I don't know anybody. Okay, so I've done many bar trainings in my life, and most of the time we have to untrain the people that went to bartending school. So oftentimes it is cheaper to not hire people that went to bartending school. So I don't know if I'm just alone on that one, but if you go to bartending school, you are less employable as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so the next thing is tip certification. Sometimes that's required depending on where you work. So that makes sense. And just going back to the Barry Brown thing, I have not. I'm pretty sure I never made six figures, even at the top of my game. I made six figures when I was running my own business, and that was like because I was delivering a product and selling a product. But I don't think that it is possible. I know it's possible. It's mathematically possible to to be a bartender and make six figures. Right now, whether you keep six figures is another thing because most people's effective tax rate is in the mid 30s from a percentage. So if you're making $100,000 on paper, then you're walking with 65 or 70. Okay, so advanced mixology courses, cool. Yes, courses are great, but nothing is gonna replace experience. In order to make 100,000, let's just do some simple math here. Let's say that you're going to make $100,000 as a bartender. Let's say that's you get $1 a drink, and then your paycheck and your taxes even out, right? So that's a zero. So you have to make 100,000 drinks to make $100,000. Okay, we'll get into the math in a second. So developing key skills, yes. Mixology, customer service, speed and efficiency, yes. You're definitely gonna have to develop speed and efficiency to do that. Cash handling, all right, cool. I guess I think what they mean is credit card handling because you don't really deal with much cash anymore. So anyways, yes, you're gonna have to work in high end establishments because your average order value is gonna have to be very high. So you have high tip averages on big checks. So if your checks are like in order to make, let's say that you're going to work like 100 nights a year, 150 nights a year, then you need to make like between 750 and $1,000 a night, right? And so if you're making 20%, if you're making $1,000 a night and you're selling 20%, then you need to sell at least $5,000 a night to make that. So if you're not in a place working 5,000, selling $5,000 a night, then and working at least 100 nights of the year, then and at least getting $5,000 for every night for 100 nights a year, then you're not going to make a six-figure salary. Most of us are way below that. Like I remember like when I was working nightclubs, and these were different dollars because this was like 15 years ago, but like I would walk with like $500-600, and that was amazing. But again, those were different dollars. Now $1,000 is what $650 was 10 years ago. So think about that for a second. So you're going to want to work in like really fancy nightclubs doing bottle service or whatever. But if you're talking about doing fancy cocktails, it is just not like that. I remember like I used to work at a really fancy bar and it had 55 seats and there's two bartenders, and on a busy night, we would make 300 drinks and make about $350. And that was like as busy as it gets. And it was always busy. It was just the only difference was the rate that people drank. Okay. So build a strong network and personal brand. Sure. Great. I guess that I don't know what this has to do with anything as far as making money is concerned, because If your bar was completely saturated with only people that were in your network and appearing due to your personal brand, that still is limited by the capacity of the place that you serve, and all your friends are going to have to spend a lot of money. And so you're gonna have like a monster personal brand for this to happen. Like you got to have a YouTube. Like you'd probably be making more from YouTube than you'd be making from bartending. So enhancing your customer experience, sure, Barry. Sure, yes. Like unless you're giving like hand jobs, like you're probably not going to get more than 20% on your service. So again, it goes back into like if you need to, you need to be selling more to and have a high tip average. Let's say it's 20%. You need to be making five. You need to be selling $5,000 a night to be making $1,000 a night, and then even then, you probably still have to share that with other people. So maximizing earnings through tips and additional opportunities. So what are these additional opportunities? Host events. Okay, cool. Again, you are limited by the size of the place that you work at. You are limited by the throughput of the bar that you work at. And then additional income streams. Okay, freelance bartending. Now we're talking. Okay. So now this is when things get real. And unfortunately, it's like it's way down here and buried. But this is like you can make a six-figure salary just doing this by itself, just doing freelance bartending or cocktail consulting or social media and blogging. Although this is probably the hardest one is social media and blogging, just because everybody can do it. Now, if you're doing cocktail consulting, if you have a good offer and if you are like a one of zero, you are the only one in the world that does what you do, then you can make a good living as a cocktail consultant or as a bar consultant. But it really is more about focusing on the problems that you solve than it is about the things that you do well and that you love to do. And that was an important distinction that me at 43 years old, it took me this long to figure that out. But now that have become more problem centric than what I like to do centric, now my phone's ringing off the hook and people want to work with me. So anyways, it took me 43 years to figure that out. So continuously improve and innovate. Yes, hopefully you're doing that anyways. I mean, that's kind of the purpose of life, is to just kind of change and get better and live your life and enjoy yourself and get better. Create signature cocktails. This has nothing to do with selling drinks, because again, you are not the house, you are the help, you are the labor, not management. And so like the house gets paid first. All right. So I just don't know. I just can't take this article seriously because it doesn't appear to be written by somebody who has been there and can tell you exactly how to do it. I think mathematically there's some major flaws in the premise of this article. And I'm sorry, I just have to shake this one down a little bit and just kind of wonder where this came from. I'm pretty sure it was written by an AI. So, all right. So that's all I got. Sorry to yuck your yum, Barry. But yeah, no, I don't see it.